So we have a special guest today. Maybe we can ask you to introduce yourself if you would like.
Thank you so much for inviting. My name is Natalia Shklovskaya-Robinson, and I've been practicing spiritual life maybe my whole life. I lived in Kazakhstan in my childhood, and I loved mountains. I used to hike, do alpinism even, and skiing, and I felt connection to the nature, since very early age. And then I was searching for spirituality. So I was doing yoga, and yoga healed me a lot. And we teach. I've been life coach. Me together with my husband, we do most of the work, and we did a huge work on our relationships. We've been married for eternity, but it looks like just a few days ago. And we've been going through so many challenges in life and learning ourselves, helping people. And we do different healing modalities and professionally. But I'm also an astrologer, Jyotish astrologer, and a life coach, and I used to be a nurse and licensed massage therapist and an Ayurvedic practitioner and yoga teacher. But the most work right now we do based on Bird Hellinger family constellation, though including all our experience. But Bird Hellinger family constellation is just fantastic modality which helps you to align with yourself, with a family system. We have courses in Russian language on that, which really transforms people, and also I do meditations for that. And we also do private and group workshops, which one of them I just did recently, which brought amazing transformation to people who went to that workshop.
Thank you for introduction. So today we chose a topic that probably that's why you are our guest, because it's mostly related to relationships. So we are exploring in our podcast a lot of themes, and one of them is relationships, not only with our spouses, but with children as well. But mostly I feel like it starts any education and any family life starts with the relationship with oneself and with the relationship between husband and wife. So in that relationship, we understood that there's one really important question that we want to answer, and maybe for those who are planning to have a family or dealing with some issues, is that what is the golden middle of needs in the relationship? And we touched upon yesterday, we were speaking about, that's why I asked you, because I was preparing for podcast today, and I asked you about, where is that golden middle where a personality coming to the relationships understands their needs, and those needs are not too much to ask. It's not some needs that were not met in the childhood, and now we are asking our spouse to meet them. And those needs are also not suppressed. Let's say in some cultures or traditions, the celebrated woman is the woman who never asks or who doesn't want anything, as a serving mom. And so we are trying to find the answer for ourselves and for our friends. We see what's happening around. There's a lot of there's a lot of pain in relationships when it comes to needs. So maybe we can explore that topic, and from your own experience, you can share what works for people and how do you address needs in the family constellation, and where those unmet needs actually come from, or the needs that were never met, how they then later are seen in our relationships.
Yes, it's a hot topic. Yeah. So basically, how I understand, rephrase your question is, so we all have our traumas in this material world, and we grew up, and then we meet somebody else who have his own traumas. So they say adult relationships is for adults only. So because there is a children relationships and there is adult relationships. So if person is adult, he have to meet his own needs by himself first. So if person is satisfy all his needs, he is peaceful. He doesn't depend on outer world for satisfaction. So he's happy, right? But then when we build a family, we hope that some of these needs we don't have to satisfy ourselves. We hope that our partner satisfy our needs in a for example, freedom, affection, love, friendship, these interpersonal needs that you can't really satisfy yourself. I know that people say you pray God and the God will satisfy all of your desires. But there is
Connection
some
needs.
needs for connection with other soul. So how much is too much? What is the healthy balance of, because if you meet your own needs in affection, you're gonna self-love, you're gonna self-respect yourself, it feels like mental, I don't want to say it on podcast, self-pleasing. Then why do we need other person in marriage? You know, what is the point of this connection? I mean, we're doing it for children, of course, for bringing next generation, but which needs are we have to satisfy yourself? And there is also, we have to talk about women's, for example, there is a lot of devices, visual
Let's just
and stuff.
start on there.
Yeah,
And then
but-
we will continue.
Yes, so how much is too much to ask from partner?
Ladies, thank you for this topic.
Yes, we can continue on this.
Let's take this topic for a year. First of all, can I tell that in this world, in human world, relationships between men and women are the main relationships, right? Because the whole life started from that. We are here in this world because of our relationships of our father and mother, and our father and mother are here because relationships of their fathers and mothers, right? So, and then we can go and go and go. Like, so we are here because of this 100 generations, 1,000 generations, So many people before us, they were dealing with it, relationships, right?
And hopefully we came not from monkeys, but from divine.
Of course.
We go really back.
Yeah. So, but the point is that everything starts with husband and wife relationships. And then the child comes and child carries all emotions. And we have also a Telegram channel, and we did one post, and in this post I wrote, the woman marries the mother of your husband. because man takes first kind of, like, the woman, her main kind of task in life is to give life to a child, but for the man the first task is to take care of the woman, and the mother is the first woman. So if the woman is not protected enough by her father, by her husband, then the son step up. He likes it, and then he cares for her emotions. So the mother's traumas are in the son's psychic. So then the woman marries that man, and she will have to take care of that. So you asked me what is like too much, and why is that? Why we need to marry if we are satisfied. We have courses in Russian language, and right now we did like spiritual course for couples, which is very, very important to understand. I said it yesterday, why there's so many divorces, and the answer is many answers, but think of that people don't really marry in the first place, in the proper understanding of marriage. They don't become partners. So much traumas in the childhood that people look for parenting mostly, or for other things too. So, but adult life, as you said, it's different. You need to grow up. You need to feel that you receive. So yes, the marriage is not to ask that you can be more whole. You're already a whole, because for you to be born, for you to grow up, the generations before you, and God put so much into you, so you received. And marriage is time to give. It's mostly to give, because you already received. And if you did not receive enough in your childhood, you need to work on that, because the husband or the wife are not people to parent you. Like, the proper marriage is when I understand that I got so much from my parents. They put so much into me. I value my life so much. And then they give me education and spiritual knowledge. So I want to share that with my husband or wife and with my children.
Out of abundance.
It's out of abundance. I cannot keep it in me. I need to move it forward, because you never can give back to your parents, because your mother risking her life for you to be born. Some mothers before died, then they put so much of energy, time. So you cannot give it back. Giving back, you live your life and you move it forward. So the marriage life should be out of abundance. But of course, during even marriage, like even my life, we met my husband in 1991, and then I went to a monastery ashram for 7 years. He waited for me, then we married in 98. So it's almost 38 marriage, and we've been so many challenges. And at some point, I had a very strong disease. He took care of me a lot. He was going through a challenging time. I took care of him. But then in partnership, it's kind of, you can be sometimes kind of a parent, but it's temporary. And the most important thing is, whenever you need something, don't only look into your husband or wife. Look for other resources. Look again, God, parents, friends, teachers, doctors. Like I was taking care of my relatives recently, like very sick, critically ill, and I was in the hospital for 18 days. It was like my home in ICUs. And I saw, like, to my uncle, the doctor would come, the nurse would come, like the speech therapist would come, the pulmonologist would come, the physical, occupational therapy, like thousands, like so many people came, exactly. Resources came to help him come back to life.
It feels like we want all of these roles fulfilled by our husband.
Yes.
The role
One
of friend,
person.
the role of lover, the role of father. I remember my husband said, "I'm not your daddy. I cannot. It's too much. I already overwhelmed with work, like outside job responsibilities. I cannot be your father."
Correct.
And it hurts, because that's why I made it. I wanted it. I realized not that it's healthy, but
it was like an improper understanding.
Yeah.
He is not your father. Yeah, that's why it's like actually marriages fall, because too much of expectations. No, he's a separate person who had his life. He already shared his life with you, and he helped to her. The men, sometimes women underestimate when men give a child, because of course it's one moment, could be right, and then you're pregnant, but for him to be able to give you a healthy child, it's many generations where living healthy life to keep healthy genes, and that ability is already golden. And then he gave you the opportunity to be a mother. It's already huge. So we don't see resources around us, and then we demand from people who are very close to us.
You know what I'm thinking? I think that sometimes women like me demand, they want to see everything in our husband, because we are, from our side, we give everything to relationship, to family. We cleaner, cook, mental therapist, driver, everything for our family. So we give, I would say, 200%.
Correct.
The woman who overgive. And then we see that our spouse give 30%, 40%, and we are enraged. We expect the same. So it's a trauma. Overgiving is a trauma.
Yeah,
that's why we expect everybody be like us, like work until there is holes.
Until then.
Yeah. Oh my God.
But at the same time, men and women are different psychic, different understanding. Recently, we did a constellation online. It was 1 man and 6 women. And this man was so grateful on that. And he said, wow, constellation was far out, huge. He was working on relationships with mother. It came to that. And then ladies were sharing what mother feels when takes care of a child and how lots of strength. And he said, wow, my mother and my grandma brought me up, but I didn't understand that inner, life of the woman and what she's going through. So men don't understand that, but they have their own life. And for him to work, you don't also understand how much he puts. Because he's not selfish too. If he's outside for 8 hours, it's also huge, He's giving his time and energy too. So he, in his way, also gives a lot. But you don't understand him, he doesn't understand you.
So now when we come to this understanding that there has to be connection to understand each other. Right. So, okay, we have healthy needs, unhealthy needs, but I think the basic need in the relationships, and I actually myself explored family therapy, and me and my husband, we did some therapy sessions, and we were listening to podcasts about relationships, and they were saying that in the relationship, let's say it's healthy, let's say nobody is in a abandonment mode, or there is some sort of abundance. For that understanding to happen, so that two people can speak, there has to be connection. So connection is built on trust. And so how, from even the family constellation part, okay, we say that the ideal is that there are 2 adults. Mostly I feel that ideal maybe happens after a long time of self-realization, meditation,
After
healing,
40 years old, after 50 or something, when
somatic
it's too
healing,
late, when
shadow
you're grandma
work,
already.
whatever the psychological healing that one has to take. Okay, but that takes time. And so the question is like, okay, if we accept that in reality, when people marry and they are 28 years old or 30
18.
years old, but internally they may be 5, still they have to like stay together to go through all these lessons that take so much effort and so much time and so much technique so that they can grow up as adults inside the heart. So what to do in the moment when you are not yet there, because the ideal is over there, like it's up high. We have the ideal marriage or ideal relationship is to adult relationship, isn't it?
Traumatized adult.
But the reality, by the point you understand that there's something wrong with your like requirements in the marriage, you already lived through a relationship that you pretty much more or less damaged. So what to do in the moment of damaged
Very good
relationship?
question.
How to connect people who are still not adults, how to connect those people, how to allow them for space and connection. Space is easy. Everybody goes their way and do their business. I can go to 20 art classes and have my wonderful life, but then we will grow apart. So we have to, in the moment, while we are not perfect beings, we still need to have moments of connection and understanding. So how to do that?
Like different ways, like I could share like a couple of tips on that, like my own and also what I know from other people. There was one, like even before I started doing constellations, one of my clients shared that they've been on the urge of divorce with her husband, and somebody shared with them this book. I forgot the name of this book, but the point what was in that book is that we need to start talking properly and of course with respect. And in that book that was shared, take 2 days a week, like 1 day for women, for example, Friday, and 1 day for the men, Tuesday. That Friday at 5 p.m. you need to sit down, you and your husband, and it's time for the woman to share what she saw during the week, what she wants to explore, what she wants to tell. So whenever conflict situations happen during the week, you don't shout. You wait for your day and you write like whatever you need to say. Mm-hmm. So on that Friday, she tells that what happened, that's what I wanted to share, that's what I need. And then she can give or not give time for him to talk. And then the same, he has day on Tuesday, but it's his time. She needs to sit down and listen to him. And when they made it as priority, then they start hearing each other. So it's basically giving time to each other.
Without interruption and without criticizing.
Yes. And during the week, they didn't they had to control themselves, not being in anger during different situations. But then peacefully, they would explain what happened, how they react. That helped that family so much. This is first. But actually, everything started, somehow you married. So it means it was connection, right? It was love. So you need to keep respect to the person and understand that he's also growing. And understanding that you're growing together, that you're not adults yet, but kind of then you can, that's what happened in me and my husband. We've been always growing. And we understand different challenges of childhood. I understand his, he understands mine. And then we allow this growth and we grow together. This is a perfect then when couple can grow together and talk about it. It takes a lot of time. Like I said, we're still kind of fresh in our relationship. So we've been married, know each other from 91. It's how many years? 35 years, right? So and married almost 30. So, but being always working on that, we like it and we help others. So, but everybody is different. But at least they need to talk once in a while. And always it's very important for the man to hear that the wife loves him and respects and values his work. So, the wife thinks he doesn't do enough, but he thinks I do too much and she doesn't value me.
I think both sides, at least from what I notice, both sides think that they are not being seen.
Right. So that's very important to appreciate. If you have kids, you need to teach kids, appreciate the father. That he went and earned money that you have on the table today. And the father should teach kids to appreciate mother. This appreciation is very important. Nobody it's if somebody will knock at your door right now and bring organic apples, how grateful you will be to this person.
That's good. We should bring next time.
right? So if somebody just knocked at the door and give you a gift, how grateful you will be to him. But you know, like
But if
husband,
it's husband brought apples, and
Yes.
they are wrong kind of,
Wrong apples.
like a dry, without juice, the one that you don't like.
and the husband give you an opportunity to become a mother, and how rich at that. So we take things as granted at some point. So we need to really keep that appreciation to God.
Yeah, and that is childish. I feel like this narcissistic idea that everybody has to give you something and you can allow yourself to be ungrateful is a kind of a 3-5-year-old stage of development, isn't
Correct.
it? In reality, in
That
children.
you're stuck
The narcissistic, yeah.
traumatically.
Yeah.
Probably.
But then the other thing is,
Just one second.
Yeah.
And also, if you're grateful, then you will be like, for example, if like as you said, the mother is working like 24/7, she's giving 100%. But if she will be grateful that your husband worked and give you this $200, right? Then the gratitude will fill her. This is a resource to be nourished from.
Gratitude is an energy.
Gratitude is a huge energy. If you're grateful to your parents for the life, wow, I've been taken care of through so many generations. Just think of it, like my parents, they loved each other, giving me life, but because of their parents. And so then you see that line, of life, then you, wow, I'm so grateful it came to me, I'm so special. And this man, like he like chose me and then he gave me kids. Wow. It's this all gratitude, it's like energy which fills you.
so would you say the opposite, the negative energy and then the negative outlook on the other person and then this like, how you call that even, psychologically being like irritated by the presence of the other person is doing the opposite and it drains you. Basically, that's you are making yourself unhealthy, unhappy, drained, unfulfilled, and so on if you always carry that negative emotion. But where that negative emotion comes from, that wouldn't be, would it only be childhood or would it actually be valid?
Like what also happens, what I noticed through my constellation practice, for example, the lady, she had a like motherhood was hard because like maybe the father was not so much present, mother was like a man and she was not emotional, she was kind of criticizing. Then what is the first need of this lady? She needs emotion, she needs love. So subconsciously she is looking for the husband, but actually she looks for the mother. And then she will choose a man who would be emotional, who would be loving. But then he cannot be everything. So mostly emotional, loving men, they cannot be good workers. They cannot provide so much.
Or they love more women than one.
Right. See? So like,
Or they just artistic. They don't
Yeah.
see the value of working like a donkey 12 hours a day,
Right.
ruining in health
Yeah.
for dollars.
so she married him and he healed her because he gives you like, you're so beautiful, I love you so much. He gave you that emotion that she did not receive from the mother. See, that's karma there. And then she's satisfied, then she has child. She is becoming a person, then she believes in herself finally because mom
She
told
healed.
Yeah, because mom told you are not beautiful, like you never marry, you this and that. And then he loves you, he hugs you, he healed her. But then after some time, you don't work enough.
Yeah, why are you laying on the couch?
She's already strong, she's a woman, she
Heals, so she
heals.
need more. So
She needs other things, and then
Yeah.
she starts asking from this man other things.
But he's not meant for that. He was
Right.
meant for the healing from the childhood.
Yes.
So that is my question. When do we know that? Is it because it's a controversial topic, especially in spiritual communities, that okay, when do we know that this relationship served this purpose and it's not going forward? Nobody is talking, nobody has a connection, nobody cares what other people has to say, there's no gratitude, it's just toxic. And when is the time to let go of a toxic relationship? Because maybe it's toxic because, as you say, one person healed and now they want the adult relationship and the other person is not meant for that.
Often it finishes in divorce. At the same time, like you can work on that. So like even I think in our relationships also like we loved each other so much in the beginning, we went through so much like waiting, and but then like when difficulty started, we start working on it. We start looking what is like remembering of my first purpose. I understand like this person is like that. You cannot make a pear from the apple. Right?
Yeah.
So then if you understand he's like that, and I cannot ask from him what he does not have, but then but at the same time we still, but if you trust, if you like that, if you
It's still a
understand,
nice
if you're
apple.
grateful, it's still a nice apple. And it's also like, but if you trust him, if you love him, if you understand him, then he can grow more actually. And then you can together find the way how to, like, for example, if he's not like working too much, how like what is he can do, like, and what you can do. So like you can still play around that if you accept.
So not to be attached to these traditional roles, like woman is at home, husband is providers. You can kind of like
You can play around.
go
Yeah.
with the flow of time and
Yeah,
be
yeah.
not traditional in a sense of
setup
Yeah.
for
Yes,
everybody,
yes, yes.
generalizing. So the question then is,
What is about this answer? How is with
it's
that?
very
yeah, the question is then, is it enough that one person is taking responsibility for relationships, or should both people agree to take responsibility for relationships? Because in your advice, I feel that there is two people
Oh, for sure.
there is two people who are willing to take action
Yes.
towards relationship. What happens if there isn't? Like, is it one is enough?
You know what? Sometimes, like even in my life, like my mother-in-law was very sick and recently she passed away. My husband was marriage focused on his mother. But like then you need to understand that there are certain periods of life when you can just support your partner. And if you're still grateful to him, he'll come back. Maybe you will have a difficult time. It's also partnership. So you need to be aware. Also, astrology is good. What the person is going through. Sometimes it's a difficult time for him or health-wise, and that he doesn't have enough resources. But at least when you love each other, when you understand, then he supports you in a different way. Like if you accept what he's doing, for example, or sometimes like the wife is sick and then the husband has to do more. But at least if she respects what he's doing, if she loves him, grateful.
even if it's a little bit in her mind.
Yes.
But that we're talking from a woman's perspective. But for example, I personally know a lot of women who have children. They are married, and the husbands think they don't do enough when they are already burned out. And
Right.
it's more like, I do feel that women in some way are more nurturing and kinder when it comes to relationship and patience and tolerance and all that. But I do see from practical perspective and the people that I know that a lot of times this kind of kindness and understanding, it comes more from ladies. I don't see that compassion and that patience and that understanding that somebody is having difficult time or they are pregnant and have 2 other kids. That's why they are not cleaning the house. And in a sense, it becomes a little bit like a toxic, emotional, abusive situation. So what happened, like how women can claim their peace when it's not up to them, in a sense. And the other person, the man, is having a difficult time, and they are not at the level. And they are not at the level to introspect. They are not at the level to listen. They are at the level where they don't, like, they are lost and they really need support, but the support that they are demanding from the woman is mother support, but she cannot.
It's a very difficult time at all. Like, living in ashram, studying about Kali Yuga, it's a very difficult time right now because, like how it was earlier, even how we grew up, it was extended families. Because when the woman was pregnant, mother was helping her. It's a hard time.
I heard when the mother was pregnant first time, she would just pack everything and go to her parents in India and live there until the child is like 1 year old. So she would have care and experience how to be a mother, and then other children she would give birth at home with husband and already know what to do, because with the second, third one, you already kind of know what to look for.
Yeah, so it's like a lot of help is needed. So again, like the husband cannot just give all the resources. Now life is like really hard because on top of like it's husband and wife in one big house, it's also huge expenses. It's like, I don't know, like how even like people can, like it's hard to survive because
rent.
Especially in America. In America, one breadwinner is not enough to actually plan the future and to
live here and now it's enough, but to really save for children college, save for retirement, save for
not planning for the
nice
future,
health insurance, pay for traditional practitioners, it's big deal.
So it's like really, really challenging. So for that you really need to look for another resources. Like the woman marrying, she should be like yeah, like in the men too, they need to talk, discuss it, and it's good karma if you have good parents. It's that's why, like in our courses, we teach you need to become first child to your parents. You need to always receive resource, and the woman pregnant, she always need to have like ladies around to support. Always,
Yes, it's
always. It was always like before.
to be, yeah.
It should be like other ladies' communities. Because yeah, woman is a main nurturer, the man is like breadwinner, like it's traditionally. But now it's because she and him like needs more support, need more help, and it's like Bert Hellinger would tell. Do you know what is the most important quality to develop? Bert Hellinger tell about this quality. What is the most important quality to develop in life?
Compassion, no? Gratitude.
Let me think.
Think also, please, our listeners.
Yeah.
Comment, please, what you think.
I would say open mind, open heart, because
Good. But like ability to receive. He said ability to receive.
be open. Yeah.
Like
Receive like what?
ability to
help?
receive, not egoistically, because some people like they just grab, but ability to receive.
That's why women overwork,
God,
because they
this
think
is so
everything has to
important.
come out only from them. They only have to clean the house. They only have to take care of this. They are the only one.
Ability to receive, ability to receive help. And like, for example, like I lived in ashramas, and like I lost pregnancies, and I had my child when I was like almost 40, and my health was not very good. And I remember like I had lots of support through pregnancy and delivery. Like, and then I was thinking like when our son was born, we thought that we open up our parenting to all our friends and relatives. It's not just us two, and it helped immensely. Like parents, grandparents, like parents, uncles and aunts, and it's how it's happening. Like we're still turning preaching,
natural,
yeah. And then like he's growing, but like with lots of support.
And that also has been shut down in America, because majority of people I know, even if they take their kids to school, they are afraid because of the child abuse situation in America.
Or
It's such a
school
high rate
shooting or
that you
something
cannot
else.
even trust, like even your friends, people don't trust their own relatives to keep them
Kali
with
Yuga,
children.
Yeah.
So
Or
that
babysitters
automatically,
who
even
abuse.
if you are open-minded and good-hearted, that automatically the harsh reality of today's life is that you cannot really trust your children with
Unless
anybody.
it's kind of
really.
family that
Even that,
if it's
because
close family,
in
right?
our community, especially here, I never knew about all these things. I just heard them in theory. But when I started to talk to people and they would open up, I see it's 50% of people that have been abused by a cousin, by somebody who took care of them in the childhood, by the nanny. Even the
I've
women,
heard
not
this.
only men, or the
Even before I
women,
met community, I
Yeah.
was living with
by the older
international
friend, like let's say
nannies.
somebody had a friend who is 3 years older than them, and they would hang out, go fishing, and things were happening. So
Nannies,
it's,
different genders, even.
but
if
it's
not
it's
always.
when I talk about this with other people, sometimes I say is it American thing? Like what happened? And they say, no, actually just people don't talk about it. Like in India, my friends are from one close place near India. Their childhood, even their brother was always trying
We need to be grateful
yeah,
for
so
our parents
it's like,
to kind of
in a sense, the
safeguard us
only
from
people
this.
that I would trust personally is the parents, but my parents are so far away. Because
like
of that parent, still there is some sort of like it narrows down because of the degradation of society, and I cannot trust anymore, because not only because it's my own experience, it's not my own experience, but it's experience of the people who like opening their heart, like it's reality. It's not a feeling or a fear, if you know what I mean. It's a fact.
yeah.
It's a fact.
But
yeah.
you know what I can tell about
Statistics.
that? Like we can fear, but also we can pray. So like they also karma of the child to come at this time. It's Kali Yuga. We studied in the scriptures like that. It's will worsen. That's why we have to be praying and we have to be pure. And the prayer works, like so you cannot protect your child from everything, right? But you need to talk to the child. Like what I work with one person. Like I have many clients, and recently my client, she shared that her daughter shared with her that when she was like worrying about some incident with your husband, she allowed her daughter to go to her friend's house, and she was kind of abused. But her daughter was able to tell her about that only when she was in resource. Like she worked with me a lot, and I also sent her to other specialists, and she became she kind of came out from her trauma, was able to listen to her children. So when we are nourished enough, then children don't worry about us, then they share. And also then they're more protected. And then also like if the child is protected, it will not happen with him. He has this protective energy around him and confidence.
But can it be that for some women it's better to then, if they are out of their resource, and there is a man is giving like a very hard emotional time, like being really even aggressive, would it be then for her and her children better that she lives in peace and becomes resourceful than continue with the idea of the family?
At least for some time, yes. Like, I mean, you need to be like, you need to
because reality, like there is ideal, but there is reality, and the reality is, wow, it's a lot of toxicity in family. Of course, it comes from our own childhood. Of course, karma. We should be grateful, but there is karma also. But then at the point where, what is more important when we think about the ideal or a human being?
No, like, I mean, it's all important. It's like, it's common sense. It's like, for example, the teacher is coming to teach the class. He has students. If he doesn't know what he will teach, he said, "Excuse me, I give you 5 minutes to play. I'm going to go for 5 minutes." And he
ChatGPT.
and then he teaches. So the mother, her role is most important role is the mother. Of course, the partner too. So she needs to be mother should be resourceful.
Yeah.
Don't become a mother if you don't know where to take your resource. Don't become a teacher if you don't know what to teach, you know?
Yeah.
So your your father and mother, your first responsibility to become adults, to be resourceful. In any situation, you need to receive.
Is adults.
Yes.
Resourcefulness equal adults.
You always, when you have a child, you always have one who is taken. Don't make him responsible.
Backup plan A, plan B, plan C.
So you always need to live in a facility where you have resources, where you trust
That's why we moved
resources.
here to Alachua.
Right. You have schools,
And you
spiritual community. So you always need to see where is your resource to take.
Yeah.
In the plane, first put your mask.
Yeah. There is this one.
What about that?
In the plane, put your mask first.
Yeah, in the plane,
Oh my
put your
God,
mask
I never
first.
understood this.
So there is this Canadian.
Did you stop?
No, Canadian Jew doctor. He is psychologist, but he was also, I think he used to be like family doctor or something. His name is Gabor Mate. So he said that they made a big research about women's health, and they connected the women's health with emotional reality. So he said that the women who don't put their needs first usually end up with autoimmune disease. So basically the resourcefulness means that you also know yourself. So self-realization, it not only means that we take high ideals about God and then we talk about it and it's not real, like it's not landing on a real platform. I feel like self-realization also means that you know yourself and you know what you need. You just basically also map, like you know your personality's map or your physical map of your body.
Or you know your
and you know how to meet your needs in the sense that you are very well aware what conditioning you have, how your mind works, how your body works, and then you meet those needs and then you are resourceful. Would that be?
Right. Actually, it even says in scriptures that the woman has everything already, like the word in Russian, девочка, Devi, like God does. She is given the opportunity to give life. Wow, to carry life and still to be alive, not to die from it. She has a lot. She connected to that. Yes, and it's a beautiful role to be like a woman, a mother, but you need to master that. Being like drinking from that resource because you're still nourished. Yeah, like the man supports that life. So for the woman, yeah, like when I look at it, like both men and women are important, but so much is dependent on a woman actually, because again, like the man, he has energy, he wants to give to the woman, but if mother is too much needed, then his energy is with the mother, then he cannot give enough to his wife and children later. So most of, like when I see the issues in the family, when I look into the family system, it's so often when the man's energy is just trapped into his mother's.
But we're talking about psychological or unconscious way, like energetically. It's not that he's just going there all the time.
Yes. His energy,
cooking and cleaning for her.
Or problems at work takes his energy.
No, but mostly it's there at mothers because if it's not in mothers, he has enough energy to do everything. So like I remember one family approached me. They were on their divorce, 2 small kids. And then, in the constellation, likely they came together. In the constellation, we saw that his energy was trapped with his mother, sister. So when he realized it, and when he zoomed it, and then he was also, later he was sick, but he was able to deal with everything. They're still together, they're happy 6 years later. When he realized that his energy was trapped somewhere, responsible for the mother, he's serving the mother and the family, but from different mode. But he took that, his energy. And then now he puts it into the work and to the family. Family is
Is
blossoming.
he got sick because he got disconnected? Is it like healthy thing?
Health is also connected, yes.
How to say it? To transform energy. So it was going to one direction and he redirected, and that's why his health reacted when he
No, like,
redirect
you're
his
not going to go there. It's like, but the point is, like, the men, they love to serve women, but yeah, they should serve, like, they should be grateful to the mother for life, but then they should move forward in their life. It's very important.
There's a lot of times when a single mom has a boy and a boy always feels guilty.
Yeah. So she puts him on the place. How she can survive? How
place
she
of
can,
husband.
Of course, it's subconscious. How this is her coping mechanism. She doesn't know she need to take resource from her father, from the teachers. Like maybe she even taken, but then still like she grabs his energy. Otherwise, how? Right? She doesn't understand.
Oh my God, why do we coming out to find all of this really important stuff when we are
Teach your kids.
in the middle age? Why?
Because
We're not
now you are in a situation,
doing this.
before it was only theory. That's why we're
Okay,
doing
yeah.
hard podcast. The hard podcast means you felt something and you need the answer and you seek for
But this is
guidance and you
sad.
want to live through,
This is sad,
through the experience.
Yeah, I have a son and I'm very careful about that. And once, I remember my husband was traveling a lot to his family, to his mother. And I remember like maybe even 10 years ago, like my son didn't listen to me. And I called my husband and he said, okay, which role is he playing? Because and then I felt, because you need to feel your husband even if he's somewhere. You need to feel him right of you. And I said, oh, okay, I don't feel you. Then he jumped on that position of the partner and then he would not
Authority,
listen.
Bossy you around because
Yes.
he can,
It's
because he's
interesting.
there already.
Yeah, so like then I worked on it and then it's normalized.
Interesting.
Can I ask about, like, for example, the woman is overgiving in her relationships and she has the fear of receiving. So she has probably resources, but she doesn't let herself receive it. Like especially our upbringing, Soviet Union, Russia, where I often remember with 3 small children calling my mom. I said, Mom, I'm overwhelmed. If I do all my to-do list, I will be sick for 2 days, next 2 days. But if I do a little bit, I'm behind. So it's always like rush, cortisol, stress, never enough. And at the same time seeing partner doing 30% at least at home. Now I realize that he probably do 70% somewhere else
Outside.
at work or taking care of his mom for sure. He's taking care of big extended family. But this fear of receiving is really hard to overcome even if you know it. So for example, my friend offered me to buy, I still have it, bread with avocado and cheese, and I said no. I was hungry, it was morning, but I still cannot receive from even my friends.
I want
this
water
is
from.
so crazy.
I want the water from this cup. Give me the water from this cup. I want the water. No. I want right now.
Oh, there is no water. There is no water. There is one drop.
See, one drop. Okay, so and how you want to give if you don't receive? If you don't put water in this cup, how you can give it?
Exactly.
So that's why Bert Hellinger said most important to receive. You need to, and this is ego. When you say I don't need, it means you have everything. It means you're God. Or
But a lot of times I hear even myself and personally, I hear the complaint from men when woman starts to take care of her needs and stops being over caring, over motherly towards them.
Give only 30%. also.
Give okay, now I'm going to become resourceful. I'm going to give 50% for me, 50% for you guys, and you will have a quality energy from me. And then what happens, I feel in the heart of the man who maybe didn't have enough love from mother or couldn't receive it, then he starts to have a tantrum, like you're not doing enough. what did you do? You were just like walking around
And
with your friends
painting.
and talking
You
and
do your art
painting
and stitching.
Yeah, and when it's workload over there, so I hear that also sometimes women, okay, they make it for themselves, the idea that, okay, I'm gonna go to a cafe, I'm gonna read a book, I will take the resource from what I like to do. I like to read a book in a cafe and drink a little bit of tea alone, and then I'm gonna serve my family. But that is seen as not
Egoistic.
feeling yourself for the sake of the family. It's seen as like you're not taking care of the family.
It should be done wisely.
It
should be done wisely. Again, like, like, unfortunately, very difficult time when men are not men, women are not women. Because one of the most important quality for the woman, of course, is beauty, but it's actually wisdom. It's like that you need to tell the man in the way that he thinks that he came to this idea. It's very wise. Women need to think. Sometimes I have one mentor, she would think for a week before telling something to the man. So you need to think of it. If you want to do a shift, he needs to understand it. And you need to do it carefully, that he would love it. So not to do again, talking, saying I feel tired. If you don't want me to go for the hospital for 1 month, that somebody else will take care of me. I need right now to do something for healing, that I can give you more. And also, the man, if he is responsible for his mother, then he plays a role of the father or husband for his mother. Then he, of course, needs from you. So then you need, that's we teach in our course, how even you need to do some work of gratitude to his mother because she gave him life. And you need to give that role to his mother. And you need to see him as a child of his parents. And you need to if you will talk good about his mother and father, it will give him strength. So you need to connect him to his system. It's two systems. It's not like if somebody tells me Karen marries John, this is a mistake there. Because it's Karen family system connects with John's family system. So you need to see his parents behind him, and you need to then you'll see him big. If you will, if he put you in the place of the mother and you will run away, then of course he will be mad as a child. But you need to help him connect to that he has a resource, he has mother and father, and you're not, you're a partner.
Can I ask? So if the husband think his mother is his wife, so who is become his real wife in this system? So
maybe his mother is his partner.
He's already
so
busy.
the partner have to be mom.
Yeah.
So the partner goal is to take herself and put herself in a wife position. So now we have two wives, and there is competition.
No, the second wife will start to flicker.
The first one. Okay. Oh, that's hard.
Yeah.
I didn't know I need to marry mother-in-law before I.
Yeah. So subconsciously you was ready for that. Whenever we marry, our subconsciousness wanted that. So it's your karma.
So
it means you're not
before,
properly connected also to your system. So then that's why we have this course spiritual, but we have course in Russian. We should translate it. It's very deep. So when you have to align in your system, we marry what is okay for our imbalances. So we need to balance ourselves and also help the other system balance, and then our kids will be more balanced.
I just remembered. I was trying at some period of time really please my mother-in-law. So I was serving her every wish, respected her, bowed down to her. I decided to do experiment, to be grateful.
I think I told you that, right?
Yes, I'm thinking about it happened after. So it was the most peaceful, wonderful time in my life.
Because you're serving to the system.
But it felt... but it was several months. I felt like it was very peaceful, happy family situation. But the thing is, situation with what I felt, the children were small, so they didn't really much from me except shelter, food, and water. I didn't drive them nowhere, didn't go out. So I basically I didn't even serve my husband. I was just serving her while she lived. And everything magically become very balanced. But I noticed that so I overgive. It's not me. I was not take care of my own needs. So basically, instead of giving husband and children, I just took this percentage, took this 100% and just pour it into her. And she was happy, content, and feel natural in this position. This is how she wanted our
be,
family to
yeah.
be. But I felt like kids growing up, they need me emotionally because I was for her emotional. I was her driver. I was her assistant cook. I was her, like, she wanna go see friends or go to temple. I would just immediately
That
jump
she
up
wouldn't
and,
help
and
you
do it.
with the chore.
So see,
Yeah,
like what I
and
hear.
I feel like a neglect. And when the children start growing up and say, "Mom, we want this. Mom, we want to go," I felt like that's not enough for me. Energy to give them. I have to pick a side. And myself, I completely diluted myself into this. I didn't see my own needs.
See, like, can I tell, like, looking at your energy right now, I see your beautiful heart, but I see you like a river that you're always looking where to go. So you're like a river. So, like, you just give yourself to the husband or to the mother-in-law or to the kids. Where are you?
Yeah.
See, like, so, like,
Are you a river?
no.
No, me, I'm actually, I have to
Mountain?
go down from the throne.
Oh, okay.
I'm a
That's good.
princess.
Okay. That's
So like if you would be like I am, and I am connected to my system. It's my life, and I see my mother-in-law, and I am grateful to you. I really honor you, and I don't need to drive you everywhere, but I respect you deeply because you give life to my husband, from whom I have kids. So I have because of you. So I respect you deeply. If you need a drive, I can call a drive, and you can pay for it. But I respect you in my heart.
So it's more like eternal. It's not like выслужить, like, so basically giving not
Serve yourself
100%.
out.
The river not giving 100%, but she's giving 10%.
Respect.
Could be
10%.
kindness is
Without
valid
slavery.
without slavery.
Mostly respect, like, just like if you look at your intel, I'm so grateful for what you did for your son, and now he's my husband. Now I have children. I'm really grateful to you. That's enough.
But I cannot labor. I think
Yes.
that's a lot of times that's what we misunderstand. That service is also, you have your own boundaries and you have your own resource.
Of
You have to
course.
know it, and to loud it out and say it in a respectful way is also service. But we think, I will not say it, I'm gonna continue with the labor will
Tell for itself.
yeah, the labor will drain all my energy, and then I, without
Then
any
I'm gonna
resource,
scream.
I'm gonna come and shout that was too much. So I feel like it's also the wisdom is here when you know I cannot do it. But it's not offensive not to be able to do something.
I love you so much. I really want your grandchildren the best. So because I love you so much, I need to go and take care of my children.
Yeah.
See? And I love
So
you.
that
I
you
love you
can
so
be
much.
peaceful.
I love you so much. I really value so much that you put so much into your husband. So I need to go to
Away.
So I need to go away.
Couple
that,
days.
that your husband could be happy, that your son will be happy, I'm serving your system.
Some people don't take it lightly.
Wow.
But then
feel it when I say it.
the
because
question
I cannot
is-
fake it.
okay,
I
even
cannot-
that
yeah.
peaceful and kind response sometimes does get an emotional reaction that's not positive. But then again, there is another side. So why cannot we deal with the negative side of somebody's emotion? Emotion is a 30-second business, or
Like
1 minute,
tolerate,
30 seconds.
right?
Why cannot we then, as a women, tolerate the negative reaction to us putting a boundary to our labor and just respectfully saying, I'm sorry, I know you're upset. Why we take that energy and that negative reaction to this and we put it inside us, and we decide that, okay, because I don't want to deal with this reaction, I'm going to overserve now.
Oh,
What is the question? What is the answer?
This life is a school. God teaches us through different circumstances, and we're human in women's body to serve more. So we need to learn. We need to learn to feel ourselves, to love ourselves, and we need to learn to serve, not to deplete, and always receiving. So it's a learning process.
There is a question a little like, what is the healthy percentage to give yourself and for family? So this is important because, for example, I
Quick
told you, yeah, 50-50.
Quick answer. The best, you always should feel that you're not giving, you're receiving.
Again, mother, I want
should
to
feel-
hear it again.
You should feel that you are not giving but receiving. Remember when we spoke about chores?
Even if you're giving.
Yeah.
Wow,
Okay,
I'm
then
receiving. I'm receiving time seeing my beautiful kids and how they grow.
I get to have a kid. I get to have a dirty house that I can wash. I get to drive the broken car that needs to be fixed, or because a lot of people don't get it. Also, I have a lot of friends who cannot have children, and every time every time you speak to them, it's like how they're trying to get children.
I have a client.
But some are happy without children. They know that it's a lot of hustle and they just...
I have a client, she spent already, mostly I helped clients to have children, but she's much older and she still wants children through even surrogate mother or other.
Mm-hmm.
She was she had so many breakdowns. She doesn't have a husband, she just wants children.
She want to pour her love.
Yeah,
child.
And she spent maybe $500,000 already. So, but then I see kids so tired.
So
and then you miss the beautiful childhood. I mean, you're running around and you don't look at your son's beautiful face
and thinking about one shore, then you're doing this shore, think about next shore, then and do not even see. Nobody.
Yes. Okay. So let's wrap up. So wrapping up is let's put it in 2 sentences. So we form relationships. Sometimes in those relationships we come and form. We are not aware of our own maturity, and with those relationships we understand that, and sometimes hopefully we understand that we need to reach the maturity, and we need to give each other grace while we're reaching that maturity, find connection, involve each other into nourishing the relationship and listening to each other with respect and gratefulness. And then in that way, we can create a peaceful environment in which we can grow. And then in that growing, it's very important to have resources and help, because we are not actually meant to be separated from society, from family, from friends.
It takes a village to raise a child.
We have to understand that we came here to this point and crisis in our lives because there was some sort of energy that wasn't reaching us because we were not receiving it.
Not receiving.
So we have to open our heart and mind to allow ourselves to receive it. And when we need to deliver this message maybe to our partner who may not be ready for this kind of approach to life, you have to be wise and use intelligence and emotional intelligence to kind of balance it where it doesn't grow into a conflict.
Correct. And that should be I love you so much that I want to love you even tomorrow, even after 10 years. For that, I need to receive, to have it.
Yeah.
My resource. Yeah. And it just happened with me recently. I was, I had to take care of my very sick, it was very crisis situation to which I had to run. And I was there already for 10 days. And I felt that I'm just losing my blood pressure. It was very critical. I had to take 2 very sick people with some legal stuff. It was very, very demanding, but urgent role, which I had to. So I called my husband and my son to come. And my husband came and did massage to me, and then they played together. And it shifted the situation. Saved me.
Usually for me, I'm told to go in the room and shut down the room and be quiet. So I started to talk to bring it up. I'm saying, if I'm not well, I actually need support, because otherwise I feel punished for being sick or for not being labor.
This is so important. I know how you feel, because when I was not feeling good, I had to actually, nobody in our family do not know how to take care, be nurturing. So I have to call all my children, husband, and explain them after my operation that, okay, if the person is not feeling good, some of you have to come to the room of the person every hour and ask what is needed. You have to go to ChatGPT and read about this topic, how to take care of person. You have to provide water and meal at least once a day. And like this for 2 weeks. So I was calm, but inside of me, I was irritated that they do not understand it already, and then I realized, and it shifted, they actually start doing it when I explained them what need to be done. They needed, so I understood my needs, and I felt like I was given
Finally
class
receiving.
on after the operation, after the anesthesia. I was given class how to
how
take
many
care.
more operations you need to be able to receive?
You should have,
And I was amazed it worked.
but you should have teach them before, right?
Yeah, but I didn't think that situation. I thought somehow they should know. They should know. They see me how
miserable.
I act. They see me how I serve, take care of them. And I show by example. I don't have to talk about it and give the lecture. But it's a good point. But also one
But
point.
good job that you taught them. So see,
Yeah.
like it's a lesson from God to receive.
Yeah, and also I feel like we need to talk about also one topic. I come idea from me. We need to know our needs, like all basic, middle, upper needs. We need to know, and we need to know how to know that. And second thing, I really want
For the next time, right?
Yeah. Next
for
time,
next
we
time.
map.
And maybe invite your Prabhu or some male who can talk about the same thing that we talk about right now, what women feel,
Indeed.
but he can give his update from male side,
Yeah,
from his
very important.
view.
Yeah.
Like somehow I was thinking about your husband, how he would think about this, like he want to be participating in a relationship, how much, like how to know when is enough. Because I think men, they kind of know when they done giving, they go into cave, right? When they give everything, we can give still more.
No, we
more.
take it out of
After
the
this lane.
we dig the hole.
But they kind of, oh, I'm tired. Like,
It's
Yeah.
good.
it's healthy.
Thank
it's
you very
healthy.
much, everyone. Podcast. So we'll try to do the same version of the male experience,
experience.
husband experience.
Soul experience
of
in a male
needs.
body.
Okay,
Next
thank
time.
you, Mata.
Mata, you
Thank
want to
you.
say something?
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you. Welcome.
And we're gonna link in the bio
Yeah,
the YouTube channel of our dear guest, so you can explore
We
more.
have more like Telegram and Facebook and Russia.
Yeah.
Telegram,
We'll do
and we
English.
have Russian and Russian also language.
Thank you. Oh, it's not true.